Of hymns, I am the Brihat Psalm sung to the Lord Indra, and of poetry, I am Gayatri verse, sung daily by Brahmanas. Of months, I am November and December, and of seasons, I am flower bearing spring. Purport. It has already been explained by the Lord that amongst all the Vedas, the Samved is rich with beautiful songs played by the various demigods. One of these songs is the Brihat Psalm, which has an exquisite melody and is sung at midnight. In Sanskrit, there are definite rules that regulate poetry. Rhymes and meter are not written whimsically, as in much modern poetry. Among the regulated poetry, the Gayatri mantra, which is chanted by the daily qualified Brahmanas, is the most prominent. The Gayatri mantra is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the Gayatri mantra is specially meant for God relation, it represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people, and when one attains success in chanting it, he can enter into transcendental position of the Lord. One must first acquire the qualities of the perfectly situated person, the qualities of goodness according to the laws of material nature in order to chant Gayatri mantra. The Gayatri mantra is very important in Vedic civilization and is considered to be the sound incarnation of Brahman. Brahma is its initiator and it is passed down from him in disciplic succession. The months of November and December are considered the best of all months because in India, grains are collected from the fields at this time and the people become very happy. Of course, spring is a season universally liked because it is neither too hot nor too cold, and the flowers and trees blossom and flourish. In spring, there are also many ceremonies commemorating Krishna's pastimes. Therefore, this is considered to be the most joyful of all seasons, and it is a representative of Supreme Lord Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai. So, while I was preparing for this verse for today's class, I realized that Krishna's opulences as unlimited, and only devotees can understand those opulences. Previously, we studied that Krishna has created the source of all those letters are Krishna. How the words are combined is Krishna, and now how the poem is written is also Krishna. And after that, the Vedas and all the scripture, the source is Krishna. And then Krishna very specifically telling here very briefly that where this sung and also the about the hymns, how that sung, the poetry side. And as Prabhupada writes in the purport, and I remember in my young days when we were studying those languages, and those languages, as long as they were pure, they were always very rhythmic and also very scientific. As long as I understand all the language, if they are pure, they are like this only. But as Prabhupada writes in the purport, the modern literature, modern languages actually are not pure, and that's why they're not Vedic, and that's why they're not that impactful also. Now, when I was preparing, as I said before, I focused on the Gayatri verse because I come across this Gayatri questions regarding Gayatri's Mata, Gayatri Devi's relationship with Krishna all the time in my preaching in India. People ask me, and Gayatri Parivar and all those things. Gayatri is very powerful there, but people don't realize. So a lot of people have been asking questions, and I will normally give relation of where they stand in our Vedic Vedic knowledge, and where they stand, how they are compared with Bhagavatam. But when I was doing some research on this, and I actually come across this very important information. And otherwise, if I would not have been preparing for this, I would not have got into those information because of my limited intelligence and superficial approach to study scriptures. So I would like to quote that this in Brahma Samhita, the source of Gayatri Mantra has been very clearly mentioned, and also at what stage it has been revealed, how it has been revealed, and how it has impacted Lord Brahma's uh, uh, Lord Brahma's devotion to Lord Krishna, and how he started the creation. So those are the verses I would like to share and try to sing. The first is verse number, so chapter number 5, verse number 24. And this is not the Brahma Samhita tune which we know, which I realized now when I was doing this study on this Gayatri. And the translation of this verse is, then the goddess of learning Saraswati, the divine consort of the Supreme Lord, said thus to Brahma, who saw nothing but gloom in all directions, O Brahma, this mantra, which Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, will assuredly fulfill your heart's desire. And the verse is like this. Vacha Purutas Tasmai Tasya Divya Saraswati Kama Krishnaya Govinda He Gopijana Iti Api Vallabhaya Priya Vahane Mantram Te Dasyati Priyam. And there is a very small purport which describes about this Gayatri mantra, and which I would like to read. The mantra, consisting of 18 divine letters prefixed by the Kam Bij, is alone super excellent. It has a twofold aspect. One aspect is that it tends to make the pure soul run after all attractive Sri Krishna, the Lord of Gokul, and the divine milkmaids. This is the acme of spiritual tendency of jivas. When the devotee is free from all sorts of mundane desires and willing to serve the Lord, he attains the fruition of his heart desire, which is the love of Krishna. But in the case of a devotee who is not of unmixed aptitudes, this super excellent mantra fulfills his heart's desire also. The transcendental Kam Bij is inherent in the divine logos located in a Golok, and the Kam Bij are pervertedly reflected in the worldly affairs, satisfied all sorts of desires of this mundane world. So this is how powerful this Gayatri mantra is, which is actually not only spiritual world, also in the material world. It always satisfied depending upon the desire. So Lord Saraswati Mata is telling about this important Gayatri mantra. And in the next verse, the translation is, then Gayatri mantra of the Vedas being made manifest, that is imparted by the divine sound of the flute of Sri Krishna, entered into the lotus mouth of Brahma, born from himself through his 8-ear holes. The lotus-born Brahma, having received the Gayatri sprung from flute song of Sri Krishna, attained the status of the twice-born, having been initiated by the supreme primal perceptor Godhead himself. So that is how this Gayatri mantra came into existence. And the verse is, Atha Venu Ninda Ninadasya Trayi Murti Mai Gatihi Sfuranti Praviveshashu Mukha Bhrani Swayambhuha Gayatrim Gayatas Tasmad adhigatya sarojajah samaksharataschadi guruna dvijatam agamat tatah. And further about the same uh, Gayatri Mantra, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj writes, the sound of Krishna's flute is the transcendental blissful sound, hence the archetype of all Vedas is present in it. The Gayatri is the Vedic rhythm. It contains a brief meditation and prayer. Kam Gayatri is the highest of all Gayatris because the meditation and prayer contained in it are full of the perfect transcendental sportive activities which are not to be found in another Gayatri. So I never knew that there are many types of Gayatris, and it further talks about next level of Gayatri, which probably I would not like to read. I will read next verse, which actually is the continuation, where what happened to Brahma after getting this Gayatri mantra. So the purpose, the translation says of the next verse, enlightened by the recollection of that Gayatri, embodying the three Vedas, Brahma became acquainted with the expanse of the ocean of truth. Then he worshipped Sri Krishna, the essence of all Vedas, with this hymn. So that's how Brahma actually, when he did that recitation of Gayatri mantras, this is what happened. And Brahma thought thus within himself, by the recollection of Kam Gayatri, it seems to me that I am the eternal maid servant of Krishna, though the other mysteries in regard to the condition of the maid servant of Krishna were not revealed to him. Brahma, by dint of his searching self-consciousness, became well acquainted with the ocean of truth. So this is again very important to note that only not full realization came to Brahma, and yeah, that's how Gayatri Mantra actually, that's what Brahma Samhita talks about. And further it says, all the truths of the Vedas were revealed to him, and with the help of those essence of Vedas, he offered this hymn to the Supreme Lord Krishna. Srimad Mahaprabhu has taught this hymn to his favorite disciple in as much as it fully contains all the transcendental truths regarding the Vaishnava philosophy. Readers are requested to study and try to enter into the spirit of his hymns with great care and attention as a regular daily function. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also emphasizing the importance of this Gayatri Mantra. And what happened to Lord Brahma, that after he started reciting this prayer, this, as the translation said, then he worshipped Sri Krishna, the essence of all Vedas, with these hymns. And that's how the famous Brahma Samhita, which all we sing, which Maharaj has told us, and that's how Amrush Prabhu has trained us, which I will sing. And then I will conclude my realization, because that's how Brahma got this hymn of singing this Brahma Samhita tune. The first was 529. Chintamani prakara samadas sadmasu kalpaviksha lakshabiteshu surabhir abhipalayantam lakshmi sahasta satasambram sevayamanam govindamadi purusham tamham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primal Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desires in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purposeful trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis. So when I was reading this verse, and I read about Gayatri verse, and then I saw that how this Gayatri Mantra, which has come from Krishna, uh, has actually influenced Lord Brahma also to create this universe, and it further Brahma Samhita talks about this. So that's my relation today. Hare Krishna.
Hare, all those devotees who are not requested, they should not give the realizations. I'm asking them. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, Avinash Krishna Prabhuji, for the beautiful explanation of Gayatri Mantra. I would like to also share my realizations. So this verse, Brihat Sam Tatha Samnam Gayatri Chand Samaham Masanam Margashirshom Ritunam Kusumakaraha. Translation of hymns, I am the Brihat Sam sung by the Lord Indra, and of poetry, I am the Gayatri verse sung daily by Brahmanas. Of months, I am November and December, and of seasons, I am flower bearing spring. So, sorry. So again, Krishna is further explaining his attributes here, and we are as from the previous verses we are learning that Krishna is Krishna in all the spheres. Krishna is the best of all. So here also Krishna goes like in the poetry and in the seasons and in the ritu, in the months, what he is the best one. So he says that he is in the hymns, or he is the Brihat Sam, and as we already know that Krishna has previously said that he in the Vedas he is the Samved, and which is Samveda is the compositions of beautiful hymns and poetry also. So which different which is sung by different demigods. So and then he further goes that that he is very specific here that in the Samved he is the Brihat Sam, which is sung in the midnight. So Krishna is worshipped by as we sing prayers to him. So what I found very inspiring here, that we sing prayers to Krishna, we do we offer flowers to him, and then all beautiful things whatever we find we try to offer to Krishna, and all those beautiful things, the best ones is Krishna. That's what he is trying to explain to us, that whatever we can think of, the best is Krishna. Then his second thing, he says that he is he's the Gayatri mantra as well. And Srila Prabhupada has said in the purport that as Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam starts, then in the first verse it is Dhimahi word comes, Satyam Param Dhimahi, and that Dhimahi word is the Gayatri mantra. So here Srila Prabhupada says in the purport of Bhagavatam 1.1.1, he purposely invoke a Gayatri mantra, Dhimahi. This Gayatri mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people. When one is successful in chanting the Gayatri mantra, he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. One must therefore acquire Brahminical qualities or perfectly situated in the quality of goodness in order to chant the Gayatri mantra successfully and then attain to the stage of transcendentally realizing the Lord. his name, his fame, his qualities, and so on. So Brahminical qualities is to get the transcendental qualities. Brahminical qualities is very important. And as Srila Prabhupada has written that Gayatri Mantra is basically initiation. And Brahmaji was, Gayatri Mantra came from Krishna's flute, and Brahmaji received it. So he was basically initiated by Krishna to transcendentally realizing the Lord. So there are lots of rules to chant Gayatri Mantra. We have to be very clean by heart, by body, and then we can do it. Gayatri Mantra, it's given from Guru to his disciple, and it comes as a disciplic succession. So, and then that's a sound incarnation of Brahman as well, as Srila Prabhupada has mentioned. Then then Krishna says here that just a moment, please. That among the months he is November and December, and which is Margashirsh. And then Srila Prabhupada has given the explanation here that because of the that in those months the crops come and then everyone is happy, enjoying. So that's what the enjoyment of those months is Krishna. And then he says that, and the seasons I am flower bearing spring. So we all know that spring is the best seasons we have everywhere in the world. It's not hot or cold, it's just the very nice season, very temperate. And then in the spring we see everywhere the flowers, the flower bearing trees, and it makes us very joyful. And we can expect how joyful Krishna's name is. We know that when we chant Krishna's name, it gives us so much joy. So it's so that joy is Krishna, and that's why he says I am the spring season. So a devotee can see Krishna everywhere in each and every atom. It's just we need to have those eyes to see Krishna and purify our existence. So that is my realization from this verse. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Namaste Mataji. Can you give your please? Thank you. Okay, Dolly Mataji, can you give your license, please? Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, I didn't prepare today, Prabhu. I was just busy with the children. They have been sick.
Okay, that's all right. Just make a mention, you know, the leaders group. Okay,
Yes,
so we know. Okay,
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
all right. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Looks like that's the end of it. So of the hymns of the Samaved and Bharat Sam, there are two different translations here. The translation also like last week, this week also. It's a bit of change. So in the unedited version, it says that of the hymns and Bharat Sam, sung to Lord Indra. And it is said that of the hymns of in Samaved and Bharat Sam. So Samnam, Bharat Sam Tatha Samnam. The Samnam means of the Samaved songs. And Bharat Sam. So the hymns of the Samaved and Bharat Sam, so not mentioned about Ravindra here. And of poetry and the Gayatri. Of months I am Margashirsh. From December, of seasons I am flowers. So, Shabu spoke in detail about Gayatri. The Brahma Samhita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, also starts with Gayatri. So, again, Gayatri also, you'll find that anything related to Krishna has its existence in the spiritual world, and also in Golok.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Your voice is not very clear, Prabhu, as usual. I don't know. It's
It's not
little,
clear?
yeah, it's coming, going sometimes, Prabhu.
Okay. All right, tell me if it goes and comes again. So I start again.
No, Prabhu, you okay? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So also in the so you'll find that mention of Gayatri also as a gopi, um, the personality. Now, the gopis also of different categories. One who are liberated gopis, then there are those who are whom Munichari gopis. Don't search on Google, please. It has to be come in a proper order. There are also personified Vedas gopis, go with Krishna. So Gayatri has a very important significance. That's the reason why from the fruit of Krishna, Gayatri manifested, and from the years of Brahma, he accepted it. There is 12 years, 8 years. And the significance of chanting Gayatri is that one has to perfect it in the sense that one concentrates on the sound of it by one chanting, even quietly meditates on the words. One can see the power of it. And the Mul Gayatri, we should know, all of us know about this. Everybody sees that. Itself is very powerful. So again, Krishna manifests and mentions that he's the essence of everything. The food is important for people's living being sustenance. So the month of November, December in India is where harvesting takes place. Tell me, even Baisakhi is in November, December? All of you should know, those who not. Avinash Prabhu?
Yeah, January, Prabhu. January 1st.
Vaishak is in January, is it?
January
Not
1st.
November.
Correct, yeah. That.
Around that time.
And 14 January and that Pongal and all that, that is all January. Marxish, that's Mark month.
Vaisakhi is also 14 January.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the usual festival for harvesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Prabhu.
Yes.
Right. Right. Because here Prabhupada mentions November, December. So is a also for harvesting. Is it not mentioned here? Prabhupada says the Indian grains are collected from the field at this time, and people become very happy. Maybe starts collecting from this time. I do not know whether for wheat and all, is it November, December? Maybe Sunny Guru can tell us. Is wheat November, December, or again January only? Wheat and all the millets.
The pet is harvested in October, November, near Deepavali.
Wheat and all that millets are harvested Diwali.
No, wheat is in March, probably March, April.
Okay, and what is in? Sorry, your voice cracked. I couldn't hear. What is in Diwali?
Paddy, rice, probably.
Nice. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. So that's where Krishna says, "I am that month of November, December," and he's the flower in spring. Spring, everybody loves spring. It's the best time. So, without going further in the subject matter, uh, fairly well explained by Avinash Shubhu in this detail. So, more if you want to discuss about this Gayatri, you can do your own research there. And I think Brahma Samhita also mentions this, so take some time and continue reading that. So Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Prabhupada gives some details on it. And more we study, more knowledge we get. And yeah, everybody has a birthright to chant Gayatri. And yes, it comes from the simple succession from Brahma to Brahma Gayatri, which we chant to. And the Naum Bhut was Swaha. That is a main Gayatri. Most Gayatri everybody can chant. And one should chant. It's very important to chant. And everywhere they talk about is that Gayatri is also, you understand Brahma, because in one form she married Brahma. So, but anyway, that's very deep. There are many pastimes and stories. Some are relevant, some are not relevant. But for our Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, this is the significance of Brahma Samhita, which has been explained. So, yes, I think there's anything more we can discuss on this subject. And yeah, it can be chanted at different times also, in the night also after 10 in the morning. But let us discuss it only when we have got proper knowledge on the subject. Okay, I think anyone has any questions on this, please feel free to ask or share your realizations. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, Jai. Bhagavad Gita as it is ki Jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Shri Gurudev ki Jai.
Yeah.
Word to word synonyms, translations and purpose of the Krishna Prabhupada. Jai Krishna Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah.
Krishna Hare
Hare.
Hare Bol.
Hare.
Hare Krishna. Just a minute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Just a minute. Hare Bol, just one second.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Who was that? He said, I think it's Madhav. Apse Madhav.
They are okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. All right then. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Just one second. I'm trying to log out from here before we get started. Hare Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, Jai. Hare Krishna. We'll see you next week. Same place, same time. Hare Krishna.